Another year has gone by, and so as to follow tradition, it is time to take you on a tour of hobbyware.org labs. To kick things off, I thought I'd take a drive to this nice, scenic viewpoint overlooking Calgary, Alberta. There's lots of snow on the ground, but it's actually warm. In Canada, this is patio weather. Kidding. This is get back inside and show you my lab weather. So let me drive back home and show you the lab for 2017. In previous videos I showed you the hardware in my lab. In this video I want to focus on the software aspect of the lab and run through some of the tools that I use to create the things I do that show up on hobbyware.org. First, let's get into some disclosure. I run Windows, and because of that my programming is done in Windows languages. The apps I run are also in Windows. Most of what I use is open source or free, and due to the nature of open source programs, there is a lot of software that will run on Linux and to a lesser degree Mac, meaning if you use some of these OSs, you may still be able to use some of the tools that I will show you. So let's dive in, shall we?
Let's start with the basics, shall we? Internet. Typically my go-to is Internet Explorer. Yes, I can hear your grumbling now. But because I run a website, it becomes necessary to test your website on all the popular browsers, i.e. Chrome and Firefox. I do this to ensure everything looks good from any user's perspective, no matter the browser they are using. With the death of IE looming, I will eventually make the switch over to Firefox rather than go with Edge. About time, right? Now the starting point for any maker is an idea. Ideas are great, they spur thinking and creativity, but they are also fleeting, meaning they will get forgotten about quite easily. So write them down. And write them down I do. I got a file for 3D printing ideas, general ideas, programming ideas, article ideas, and video ideas. When I get an idea in my head, I think it out in detail and write those details down. In fact, I realize I have come up with so many ideas that most of them will never be completed. But that is okay. At least I never run out of things that I could be working on. My general ideas are essentially bookmarks to the web, of things I have found fascinating that get my creative juices flowing. The rest of the ideas are pretty self-explanatory. Next come my notes. I run Microsoft OneNote for this, but there are alternatives to OneNote such as Evernote. In here I keep major projects I'm working on. Take Stronghold CMD for example. In here I have version notes, which are basically task lists for things that need to be accomplished for each release of the software. Then I have a section for my scripts for videos related to the project. In fact, the script for this video was done in this manner. Next, I have brainstorming section that are detailed ideas for the project I have and how best to accomplish it. Furthermore, I can use other features to further improve my notes, such as adding pictures, creating lists, checkbox, tables, highlighting, and drawing. To top it all off, OneNote is cloud-based, meaning I can access my notes no matter where I am. This is the section of my desktop where I keep my utilities. My backup utility pbackup, KeePass to store my passwords, and finteg to check hashes on the files I download. In the bottom section, I keep lesser used tools and utilities. Notepad++ for programming in other languages other than Microsoft proprietary languages. Hypercam for recording my desktop videos and footage of things I am doing on my PC. Next is Arduino for coding on Arduino-based boards. iFrame for converting videos to and from different codecs. And finally, an audio transcoder called AudioCoder to transcode audio between various formats. So let's get to the meat of the tools I use. These reside in the top center of my desktop. For mind maps, I use FreeMind, a great tool for planning out any ideas you may have. Next comes OpenOffice Writer, a free, open source program that I write all my articles and ideas in. This basically just allows me to spell check everything that appears on my site and just gets copied and pasted out of here into other programs. OpenOffice Writer is a great alternative to Word. OpenOffice Calc lets me crunch numbers, make spreadsheets, and is a great alternative to Excel. MySQL Workbench allows me to play around with databases in a visual format and is the open source alternative to Microsoft SQL. From this program, I can see all the data that my programs generate and use, and it allows me to easily debug what is going wrong in my programs when the data is incorrect. If you need to store large amounts of data that can be accessed with lightning fast efficiency, MySQL is the way to go, far outpacing the capabilities of Excel. Next, I have SketchUp. This is where I design all of my 3D printing projects and any other projects that I want to mock up before I build them. There are many different CAD programs out there, some that lack capabilities, ones that are feature-rich, hard to learn, and expensive, such as AutoCAD and Revit, but I found SketchUp was the easiest to learn and had any feature I could dream of using, and best of all, it's free. Once I have designed a project in SketchUp that I want to 3D print, I open the MakerBot desktop application and arrange my object on the build platform and choose the various options I want to use in a 3D print. It has many different features, but is really the only solution for printing on a MakerBot 3D printer. Next up is Lightworks. Like SketchUp, it is free and easy to use. It allows you to generate your YouTube videos or any type of video that you may require. It is feature-rich, and there are plenty of tutorials on the internet by the creators of the program that help you use the many features easily. This program works best when used with the iframe video converter to convert your camera videos into a format readable by Lightworks. Next is the open source image manipulation program, GIMP. This is how I create all the graphics I need for hobbyware.org. This is slightly more complicated, but again there are plenty of tutorials and documentation to help you get started. This is an open source alternative to the expensive Photoshop. Lastly is Visual Studio. I program the vast majority of my programs in here. You can write in C#, Visual Basic, C++, and F#. The best thing about this is that the program used to cost well over $1,000 to buy, and now because Microsoft has made a strong push to open source, it is now free to use for teams under 5 people. Not only can you write your programs in this, but you can also design your websites or web applications using ASP.NET, HTML, and CSS. This is a supremely feature-rich program and is the be-all, end-all programming to in a Windows environment.
To finish off, I thought I'd take you to another view of the Calgary skyline and let you soak up some of that Canadian beauty. I hope you have enjoyed taking a look at my computer and some of the programs that I use to put the things I do on hobbyware.org. Hopefully this will help you start on some of the maker projects that you've had rolling around in your head for a while. Remember, any idea is a good one, just get started making it. Enjoy.